Hello, you're watching News Mongolia on MNB World, and I'm your host, Jargalma Tufshinjargal. On the News Mongolia today, His Majesty Emperor Naruhito of Japan visited the Chinggis Khan National Museum. The number of pregnant women over 35 has been steadily increasing in Mongolia. Accurate and reliable information plays a critical role in protecting public health. For the news, stay tuned. During his state visit to Mongolia, Japan's Emperor Naruhito visited the Chinggis Khan National Museum on July 7th, where he was introduced to historic artifacts and cutting-edge initiatives, expanding cultural access and education. The visit reflected a shared commitment to preserving and promoting historical heritage. On July 7th, His Majesty Emperor Naruhito of Japan visited the Chinggis Khan National Museum in Ulaanbaatar as part of his state visit to Mongolia. He was received by Mongolia's Minister of Culture, Sports, Tourism and Youth, Ondram Chimbat, along with the museum's director Cholon Sempeltondo. The emperor was guided through the museum's exhibition halls and introduced to Mongolia's rich historical and cultural legacy. The visit highlighted the growing cultural cooperation between the two nations. In October 2024, Mongolia and Japan signed an exchange of notes for a development project enhancing educational tools at the museum, supported by Japan's official development assistance. As part of this project, the museum is receiving advanced equipment, including braille printers, 360-degree and 3D cameras, virtual reality tools, and live streaming technology to make exhibitions more accessible, especially for people with disabilities and those in remote areas. The museum's collection now includes high-quality replicas of significant Mongolian artifacts originally preserved in Japan. Among them are the Golden Girege of Chinggis Khan, an illustrated record of the Yuan dynasty's military campaign, a world map from Hüble Khan's reign, a diplomatic letter from his envoys, a military commander's seal, and a model of Yuan-era ship. These additions enrich the museum's efforts to bring Mongolia's historic legacy to the public. In 2024, 57,300 women gave birth nationwide, marking a decline of over 10% compared to 2023. In recent years, there has been a noticeable increase in pregnancies among women over the age of 35, which medical professionals say poses a higher risk in terms of obstetric care. Pregnancies are becoming increasingly common among women aged 35 and older. In some cases, women become pregnant while in poor physical health, including having chronic conditions, untreated kidney inflammation, or high risk of hypertension. Medical professionals note that this trend is contributing to more complications during pregnancy and childbirth. While around 16,000 women used to give birth annually, the number has now dropped to just over 5,800, a threefold decrease. 1 in 5 pregnant women admitted to hospitals is diagnosed with diabetes. Experts pointed out that a major cause of complications is that many pregnant women do not receive proper prenatal care. The number of babies born with delivery complications is also on the rise. Around 50 to 60% of non-viable pregnancies are caused by sexually transmitted infections and inflammatory diseases. A significant number of pregnancy complications also occur in women who have not undergone prenatal checkups, suffer from severe late-stage toxicosis, have diabetes, or experience pregnancy-related issues stemming from underlying organ system disorders. Doctors emphasize that by improving their health awareness and closely monitoring their physical condition, expectant mothers can greatly increase the chances of having a healthy baby. 21.4% of pregnant women are at risk of sexually transmitted infections. Even without organ system disorders, many still face challenges carrying and delivering a healthy baby. Due to the influence of numerous contributing factors, the birth rate in Mongolia has been declining. To ensure the birth of a healthy baby, parents need to have a high level of health literacy. Medical professionals stress the importance of preventing and fully treating reproductive system inflammations, abnormalities, and infections that may affect the fetus. Regular screenings and proper medical care for such conditions are essential for a healthy pregnancy and childbirth. International training on food safety risk communication was held in Ulaanbaatar, bringing together experts from the US, Vietnam, Tanzania, Laos, and Mongolia. The 3-day workshop strengthened public health protection by improving how accurate, clear, and unified information is shared across agencies and with the public. The main objective of the training was to improve communication about food safety risks by sharing international best practices. It was emphasized that to protect public health and build trust in the food system, professional institutions must consistently prepare clear information. When agencies share consistent and coherent information, it creates greater opportunities for effective collaboration. The training brought together experts from the United States, Vietnam, Tanzania, and Laos, who shared their countries' experiences. Representatives from Mongolian government agencies, the private sector, and research institutions also participated and studied international approaches.
People often think that just providing information about risks is enough. But through this training, I realized that information alone isn't sufficient to manage or mitigate risks. It's crucial to understand how to deliver that information in a way that changes people's behavior and attitudes.
The training focuses on how to quickly and effectively deliver impactful messages to target groups during serious public health emergencies. Participants from 4 countries are taking part, and we are learning a lot from their experiences as well. International experts conducted presentations and discussions on topics such as risk perception, strategic communication, planning, message development for the general public, and how to combat misinformation. They also shared real-world national case studies and engaged participants in practical exercises. Here are the currency exchange rates provided by Mongol Bank. Next, our program will turn our attention to foreign news, partnered with international news agencies. On Monday, the United Nations General Assembly adopted a resolution introduced by Germany, drawing attention to the deteriorating situation in Afghanistan. The resolution expressed deep concern over the worsening treatment of women and girls under Taliban rule. Charged the affairs of the Islamic Republic of Afghanistan to the UN, described Afghanistan as facing one of the world's most severe humanitarian and human rights crises under the current regime.
The situation in Afghanistan remains of concern to the international community, and the United Nations and its member states remain engaged on the future of Afghanistan and its people, and that is the main message of this resolution. As the facilitator of this resolution, Germany has actively engaged all UN member states over the past weeks and months. As many others, Germany acknowledges that there is no alternative to engagement with the Taliban, and we will continue to actively contribute to the UN-led Doha process. We support the approach of the UN working groups and remain open for further pragmatic forms of cooperation with the de facto authorities, including on the safe return of Afghan refugees.
The resolution received strong support, with 116 member states voting in favor and 12 abstaining. Only the United States and Israel opposed the measure.
Mr. President, Afghanistan is at a crossroads. Since August 2021, the country has experienced alarming regression across all sectors: social, political, economic, and human rights. Nearly 4 years under Taliban rule have driven Afghanistan into one of the world's gravest humanitarian and human rights crises, as extensively documented by the Secretary General and the Special Rapporteur on the situation of human rights in Afghanistan. The resolution rightly underscores the lasting peace in Afghanistan requires inclusive, representative, and participatory governance. We strongly support the call for credible political process rooted in genuine intra-Afghan dialogue that reflects the diverse aspirations of all Afghans, women, youth, minorities, and civil society. The Taliban are a group which, should they wish, be part of the solution to Afghanistan's crisis, but they can never be the sole solution by themselves.
In a significant diplomatic shift, Russia became the first country to formally recognize the Taliban government since its takeover in 2021. The Russian Foreign Ministry accepted the credentials of Afghanistan's new ambassador, Gul Hassan, marking the beginning of official bilateral cooperation. Afghanistan's foreign ministry called the move historic, and the Taliban's top diplomat welcomed it is a positive example for other nations. Russia and Ukraine traded fresh blows on Monday, with Moscow announcing strikes on Ukrainian military recruitment centers and Kyiv targeting an oil refinery in Russia's Krasnodar territory using long-range drones. Both sides reported intensified combat, with dozens of clashes along the front lines and widespread use of drones in the ongoing conflict. Russia claimed on Monday that its forces had struck Ukrainian military recruitment centers, while Ukraine reported drone attack on an oil refinery in Russia's Krasnodar territory. Russian Defense Ministry reported that Russian forces had taken control of one settlement each in the Dnipropetrovsk and Sumy regions within the past 24 hours. The ministry further stated that Russian forces targeted Ukrainian military recruitment centers, successfully hitting assembly and storage facilities for attacking drones, ammunition depots, and fuel storage sites. Additionally, Russian air defense units reportedly shot down 7 aerial bombs and 402 drones launched by Ukrainian forces. On the same day, the General Staff of the Armed Forces of Ukraine reported 97 clashes along the front lines as of Monday afternoon, with 40 of them taking place in Pokrovsk. Ukrainian media, citing sources from the Defense Intelligence of Ukraine, reported that the Ukrainian army struck an oil refinery in Krasnodar territory on Monday with long-range drones. Well, that's all for today. Thank you for staying with us. We will see you tomorrow with more news and updates. Have a good night.